Hello, welcome back. Good afternoon. I am your host, Jimmy Jammer, and we are doing another movie review. Today we are reviewing the movie Jaws 2. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. Good movie, starring Roy Scheider as Chief Brody, Lorraine Gary as Chief Brody's wife, and Murray Hamilton as the mayor of Amity. I really like how they kept the characters pretty close to the original. Speaking of the original, Steven Spielberg did not return to do the sequel. He figured, you know what, I done my shark movie, I gotta go. Studio brought in a guy named John Hancock to direct, but apparently he did not have the right stuff. He didn't have the good caliber to do this movie, so they let him go. They eventually decided on a director by the name of Jano Schwark. This guy was a director in the 70s. He did worked on TV shows like Kojak and apparently a series called Night Gallery. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And apparently he did a movie called Bug back in 1975. And apparently the premise of the movie was an earthquake. An earthquake has caused mutant cockroaches to come to the surface. And these cockroaches have like some ability to start fires and wreak havoc over the city. I don't know, Bug, it just sounds really awesome. I gotta check that movie out. But for right now, we're checking out Jaws 2. Okay, here we go. Basically, the premise of the movie is a shark comes back to the island, starts terrorizing people, and apparently has this thing for the Brodies, like it's come out for revenge. I don't know. Do sharks really take things personally?
Sharks don't take things personally, Mr. Brody.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways, Brody thinks so he's convinced that there's another shark out there trying to kill everyone on the island. So, you know, there's obviously this conflict between him and the mayor, back and forth, and the story goes on. What I really like about this movie as well is they brought in a lot of character development. There's a lot of teenagers, they go sailing and they get into some shark trouble, which is pretty much half of the movie, the second half of the movie. The action sequences in this movie are really good. To the water skiing bit, you know, where the water skier gets taken underwater, and then the woman like grabs a flare gun, she dumps gasoline on her and sets herself on fire and blows her up. Good stuff. And then the shark goes and obviously attacks the sailing teenagers. And I think the studio actually told the director, you know what, we don't want to see a lot of the shark, kind of similar to the first one, because you know, the longer that you don't see the villain, it's more scarier. Actually, I'm really glad that Jano Schwark actually wanted to show more of the shark. I like seeing more of the dorsal fin. I love seeing more of the shark popping out of the water with his mouth open. I really like all that stuff. I really like the acting in it as really well. The teenagers when they're sailing, just the terror in their screams and the way they act, like it was really well done. These are one of these movies where I have to actually watch alone because I get emotional and tear up. Because this movie, Jaws 2, is a staple in my life. Okay? I have to watch it alone, just like the first one. You know, it's just one of those movies, you know, it got me. I remember watching this movie on beta when I was a kid. Yeah. People have a lot of problems with sequels to good movies. This is actually a really good sequel, It measures up, not all the way up, but it meets him like more than halfway. I totally recommend Jaws 2. Roy Scheider, I'm really glad they brought Chief Brody back. They didn't bring back the Matt Hooper character played by Richard Dreyfuss. I guess they figured they didn't have enough material for him, and I think what he did was good enough. But Roy Scheider, I heard, did not want to do the sequel. I think he was tied into Universal because he owed them 2 movies or something. Apparently Roy Scheider had turned down Deer Hunter. I didn't know this. And so as a penalty, he's like, okay, Roy, you got to do 2 movies for us. You owe us 2 movies. So we did Jaws 1 and Jaws 2. And then after that, Roy's like, you know what? I got to go. But Roy really kept his character for Chief Brody. It was believable. I love how they brought back his sidekick, Hendricks, the little deputy that he had from part 1. They kept him. All around, it was a really good movie. I recommend it. Jaws 2, Roy Scheider, Lorraine Gary, Murray Hamilton. Check it out. I have it on DVD now, widescreen. It's going to stay in my collection till the day I die. Thank you. Tune in for my next movie review. Who knows when it's going to be. I'm Jimmy Jammer, and thanks for watching. Boom!